This is Tim Albright with AVNation with an InfoComm 2018 preview special. I'm your host. Today we are talking with Rachel Bradshaw. Rachel is from AVIXA. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. We typically, when we've been doing this, we've been talking with folks who have booths and stands showing their wares, but actually you and I are going to discuss a couple things that happen before the show ever opens. The show, again, is June 6th through the 8th. However, things start happening actually on June 2nd. Education starts happening. And what we're going to talk about today is stuff that's happening all day on June 5th. First thing, though, is let's talk about the Integrated Life Day. And this is AVIXA and the InfoComm shows look at how technology and the AV that we all work and put in and deploy every day in corporate space is also kind of working its way and into home environments and how those are also working their way into corporate. So kind of lay out the day for me.
Sure. So Integrated Life Day is a brand new event for us at InfoComm 2018. And if you are picking up the seminar and workshop package and you're not quite sure yet what you're going to do on your Tuesday, I cannot recommend this strongly enough. It's going to be really cool. AVIXA this year, you may or may not have noticed, has really kind of stepped up its market intelligence game. And that's been led by our new senior director, Sean Wargo. And one of the trends that has been undeniable in that process is this interplay between the consumer environment and the professional environment, and how we see this cultural cachet that new developments in the consumer space and things like VR or voice or smart devices, smart TVs, home automation is driving the acceptance of these technologies and speeding up demand for them in the professional space. And we believe that this convergence between the kinds of things that people want to be able to happen in their homes and their offices and their hotel rooms, and this demand that those things be an equivalent experience in all of those places, and that you be able to sort of take your technology stuff with you wherever you go, creates a huge opportunity for our industry. So we've partnered with Parks Associates, who are a research and analyst firm who've done a lot of work in the consumer space over many, many years. If you go to CEDIA, you've probably seen them present there. And we are working with them to present a day that will sort of lay out what these changes are, what the sort of hidden tiger traps in this new landscape are, like what are the pitfalls, what do we need to worry about, what are our blind spots, and then finally, what is the opportunity for integrators in this space. And it is a whole day because there is a whole lot of ground to cover here, but much like the rest of our seminar and workshop package, we know that you're all super busy people at the show. So we've designed the day so that you can drop in and out of whichever parts of it you think are going to be most relevant to you. So we'll kick off in the morning with an overview of this integrated life thing. What is it? Why should you care? What are the opportunities being created? It's all going to be put much more eloquently than I just did, because it's going to be offered by our partners at Parks Associates and by our Senior Director of Market Research. I keep gesturing to my side because he sits next to me, Sean Wargo. So they'll kick off the day, but then there'll be a series of 1-hour panels and talks led by Parks Associates, but including lots of clever people, both end users, service providers, and manufacturers, people from Legrand, people from Harman, people from Google Nest, people from Adobe Analytics, just a murderer's row of people operating in this space. They'll start sort of on the 45s, and we'll take a few breaks throughout the day to make sure that everybody has time to talk about what they're learning and absorb it. But there'll be talks on user interface innovations. And again, like, we're not talking about buttons anymore. We're talking about voices and sensors and all of the ways that these machines are getting much more easy and natural to interact with. Security and privacy, which when you're talking about making the transition from consumer spaces to professional spaces is always going to be top of mind. Interoperability, system design, and managed services, which is where a lot of the opportunity for our integration community comes in. artificial intelligence, VR, and voice, which I think is going to be really kind of fun and sexy talk. That's going to be right after lunch at 1 p.m. Sensors, automation, and big data, consumer expectations, and then we'll end the day talking about really fun stuff, which is opportunities in the hospitality and entertainment spaces. So like, how do we use all these fun new technologies for play?
Yeah, you mentioned that it's an all day. It is all day. It's 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep.
Is over in the Westgate. If I'm setting up and I'm kind of still kind of outlining my InfoComm experience, who should best go to this? Like, who is the ideal candidate to attend this specific event?
I think that the ideal candidate is probably, I mean, like if you're an integrator, you should go to this, basically. I think that there'll probably be some people who are feeling the impact on their lives. I'm thinking of like corporate technology managers who are feeling the impact on their lives of their end users coming to them and saying like, why can't Alexa start my meeting? That this is going to be interesting to them, or there may be specific talks that are very interesting to them. Like if I were a corporate TM, I would be super interested in this how sensors, automation, and big data can create personalized experiences talk. But I think that really, if you're an integrator, you got to go. And that's if you work in the corporate space, if you work in the home space, if you do light commercial, like there will be something important to you in this day.
Well, and not for nothing, and I appreciate the fact you're letting people kind of pop in and out, because going on concurrently from 8 o'clock in the morning to 4:30 is your Emerging Trends Day.
Yeah.
And this one has always been kind of fun for me. I've actually been a part of something like this in the past. I've attended it for years and years and years. This is one of the neat events for me, because it kind of gives us a roadmap and a runway to where we're headed maybe in the next year or 2 years. Talk a little bit about what's going to happen at the Emerging Trends sessions.
I know. I like to make it hard for people to decide what to do.
Well, you do a good job of that, by the way.
Oh, thank you. But I will say, as a sort of plug for both of these sessions, they're next door to each other. So
Okay.
you can come to either or both, look at the schedule and figure out which room you want to be in hour to hour. You will have a good experience. You will learn some things, because each of these days is divided into modules so that you can sort of self-select which modules are most important to you. So Emerging Trends Day, this is a structure that we adopted for our look at incoming trends last year. We do this in partnership with the IMCCA. And what we do is we, again, this year working with my delightful colleague, Sean Wargo, and looking at our IOTA report and some other market intelligence we had to hand, we sort of identified some areas where there are some really quickly changing technologies, quickly evolving technologies, or quickly evolving sort of market issues or market drivers relating to a technology. And we've divided the day up into, for the most part, 30-minute talks, each addressing a different technology trend. We don't want to miss that overall, like what's new and cool with respect to just the stuff. So we're going to kick off with that again, as we did last year. Pete Putman is going to begin with an hour-long talk of like what's new in technology developments. But then we're going to sort of take things one at a time and look at how specific trends are evolving in different technologies, in different marketplaces, or in different ways of firms operating. Like there is going to be a session on managed services, for instance, which I think is something that a lot of people in our industry have a lot of questions about right now. Like, is this an opportunity for me? How do I make it go? So the day starts with Jim Lundy of Aragon Research talking about the digital workplace, smarter tools, smarter buildings. We're going to have a talk on display and digital signage, media signal distribution, tracking sensors and how you can monetize the data you get from those, live experience technology, conferencing in the huddle room, collaboration, cameras, all different very exciting spaces. One thing that I would highly recommend to everybody, and I know I said don't miss Emerging or Integrated Life Day, but also don't miss this, and they're at the same time, so I don't know what to tell you. Clone yourself.
Well, and you, like you said, they're right next door, so pop back and forth.
That's true. Our session right after lunch, or right after the break for lunch of Emerging Trends Day, is going to be another hour-long chunk called, I'm kind of proud of this, Leviathan Wakes, Global Brands in the AV Space.
Nice.
And Steve Koenig of the CTA, the Consumer Technology Association, is going to guide us through how brands like Google, Facebook, Apple are waking up, entering our space, and what it means for us. And these are a lot of brands that you will see on our show floor this year, in either in other people's products or themselves. So this is an important issue that people need to get their arms around. One thing that I think is really cool about our it's cool about our Integrated Life Day session. It's cool about our Emerging Trends Day session. Both of these sessions are very market research led this year. Like, this isn't just us going, we think this is interesting. It's really backed up by research and by data. We've partnered with Parks Associates on Integrated Life Day. In Emerging Trends Day, we have analysts from Aragon Research, from Frost & Sullivan, from IHS. Like, these people are not just saying their opinion or their forecast for what they think is cool. They're talking about actual facts, and they have the receipts. So I think that these are both going to be enormously valuable sessions. Now, in addition to that, we have about, give or take, 300 other sessions going on during the show. So there's really something for everybody, but I'm particularly proud of these two programs.
And you should be. There's a lot of work, and obviously, Sean Wargo has been doing a lot of work with you as well with that. So, all right. So if somebody's coming and they want to attend either or both of these, how do they sign up for them, ma'am?
All you have to do is have a seminar and workshop package. If you have one, you can walk in, walk out, go nuts all day long. And
how do we get those?
Oh, register for the show and buy one.
All right, there we go. All right, go to the show website, InfoCommShow.org, InfoCommShow.org. Obviously, you can also check out AVIXA.org, and you'll see Rachel running around on Tuesday, like a crazy person. So, thank you so much, ma'am. For more information about us and follow along as we also head to Vegas and bring you everything happening at InfoComm 2018. Go by the website AVNation.tv, AVNation.tv.